Okay, hi everyone, Cynthialoowho here. I am going to show you how to turn this little white piece of chipboard frame into one that looks like it was carved out of wood. What you'll need is some type of a embossing ink, some Utee, a rubber stamp, not a cling mount, rubber stamp, and not that one, this one. Some Spanish copper rub and buff. Now when I saw this technique, I completely forgot about it because I was looking up melting pot, and back when I did my homemade melting pot, that's when I seen this technique. And the other day I was making my fall mini, and I really liked, the browns and golds and coppers, and I wanted, some wood look, so I just took the letters out and decided to try this technique, and it worked out awesome, and I've been using it a lot lately. And I wanted to share it with you guys. And I learned it from the Ranger YouTube. I went to the Ranger YouTube, and that lady that does all the melting pot videos has a tutorial on it. So get your frame or whatever you want to make all inked up. Cover it with some Utee. And where's my holder? Here it is. I'm going to wait till my heating gun gets hot enough to melt it before I put it on there, because it will just start blowing the Utee around. Okay, now if you're fast enough, you can go ahead while it's still hot and throw it in the Utee. Or you can add some more ink into it. But I'm just going to heat it up again and throw it in there, because you want it to still be warm so the Utee will stick to it. Hope I made it. If I didn't, I'm just going to have to ink it up again. Yep, it worked. 2 times should be good enough. It should be thick enough to for the impression to show up on it from the rubber stamp. You can always get one real good coat if you use like Stays On or something. I've never used Stays On. Okay. So there, now it looks like it's covered with water. It's all shiny. Like glass. So now I'm going to grab my rubber stamp. And I can still use this for ink and stuff. I've just goobered it up a little. It just needs a good cleaning. But the Utee doesn't hurt the stamp. You just got to make sure that when you pull it off, it's cool. Because if it's still warm, some of it may still stick. So I'm going to heat this Utee up enough to where it's melting, and then put my stamp on. And just let it cool a little bit. And it will either stick to your table or your stamp. It's stuck to the table. My stamp is dirty, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be using Spanish copper on this. Utee got all over. That's okay, because it comes off. And some of the chipboard came off on there, but that's okay. Just cut it off, peel it off. Nobody's going to see the back of it anyway. And if I would have used like wax paper or had like a Ranger mat or something underneath, it wouldn't have stuck, but I don't have a Ranger mat. Okay, so now the impression's on there, and I'm going to use some Spanish copper. And because my stamp is dirty, that's where that came from. So this will clean your stamp. If you have a really dirty stamp, it will take the ink off. So now I'm just going to use some Spanish copper rub and buff all the way around. You can also put some Perfect Pearls or Pearl X on here and just buff it in and make it look real pretty. I don't know if you can see the texture on that, but it's really pretty. But now I'm going to add more just to make sure that it gets in there real good. And you can also, you know, use a darker chipboard. And this was white chipboard. I thought it'd be easier to show you the ribbon buff just makes it pop. So isn't that neat? And now you can go over it with like an ink or anything, and then if you want it to look like a lacquered piece of carved wood, just go over it with your what do you call it, Mod Podge. I'll do that real quick, because then it'll look like it was a beautifully lacquered piece of wood. And I'm using shiny Mod Podge. I think it's called Luster. Yeah, gloss. Now once that dries, it'll look like a lacquered piece of wood. Great for vintage minis, family minis, anything really. I'm going to back up and turn the light on so I can show you. There's still some wet Mod Podge. Hang on. Isn't it funny we all call it Mod Podge? And it's Mod Podge. Every time I call it Mod Podge and I watch it in the video, I'm like, oh my gosh, I said it again. Isn't that beautiful? So you can use your antique gold, your silver rub and buff. There's a patina. There's all kinds of rub and buffs out there. And you don't even have to use those. You can use metal mixatives, all kinds of stuff. There's so many things you can do with the Utee and the rubber stamp. So I hope you guys try it. Let me know what you think. And thanks for watching. Bye.